This video is sponsored by Card Trader, a global marketplace where you can buy and sell TCG cards like the Pokemon trading card game. Please use my code POPNIGHT24 at checkout where you can get 5% off your first purchase. A link will be in the description below. Thank you again to Card Trader for sponsoring this video. Hey guys, in today's video, I'll be showcasing Hop's Corviknight in the Journey Together expansion set. I actually think this Corviknight is pretty awesome. Hop's Corviknight is a stage 2 Pokemon with 2 retreat cost, it has minus 30 resistance to fighting, and it is weak to lightning. It has 2 awesome attacks. The first one is Shoot Through. For 1 colorless energy, it deals 50 base damage, and this attack also does 50 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. The sniping aspect of this attack might actually allow you to take multiple knockouts. And its second attack is a little bit more defensive. For 2 metal and 1 colorless energy, Steel Wing deals 150 base damage, and during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 60 less damage from attacks. With the extra defense, your opponent will actually need to deal 230 or more damage to one-hit knock out this Pokemon. And you can also use the reversal energy to power up this attack. And while the attack damage output for these attacks may seem underwhelming, there's actually a lot of attack modifiers that come with the combo of Hop's Pokemon. First, we have Hop's Choice Band. Any of Hop's Pokemon with this attached will do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. And not only that, this will also lower the attack cost of that Pokemon by 1 colorless energy. So for majority of Hop's Pokemon, you can even attack for 0 energies thanks to this tool card. And then we also have the Popsicle Stadium. Attacks used by Hop's Pokemon do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. And finally, we also have Hop's Snorlax. It has the Extra Helpings ability, which also increases all of Hop's Pokemon's attacks by 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. However, this ability does not stack. And again, these attack modifiers can apply to any of your Hop's Pokemon, but just remember that most of these only reflect against your opponent's active, so any attack damage you deal to the bench will not be increased. But let's not forget Hop's Snorlax can also attack with Dynamic Press. For 3 colorless energies, it deals 140 base damage, but this also does 80 damage to itself. As for our other attackers, we also have a copy of Hop's ZACIAN EX. This Pokemon is so good at dealing donk attacks, which means you can win the game on your very first turn just by knocking out all of your opponent's Pokemon. And we're using this mostly for its attack Insta Strike. For 1 colorless energy, it deals 30 base damage to the active Pokemon, and this attack also does 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And its second attack is Brave Slash, which can deal 240 damage, but because of its high energy cost, we might not even be able to use it most of the time, but it's still an option. And finally, we also have a copy of Hop's Cramorant. It has the Fickle Spitting attack. For 1 colorless energy, it deals 120 base damage. However, the downside to this attack is that you can only use it if your opponent has exactly 3 or 4 prize cards remaining. Otherwise, this attack will do nothing. And as for the other cards worth noting, we also have Hop's Bag. This allows you to search your deck for up to 2 basic Hop's Pokemon and put them straight to your bench. This will help us set up our bench Pokemon. And then Latias EX is here to make it easier for us to pivot between all of our basic Pokemon thanks to its ability Skyliner, which gives all basic Pokemon with no retreat cost. And as for my spec card, I will be using Neutralization Zone. This stadium could give us an advantage because this makes all of our non-rulebox Pokemon immune to attack damage from your opponent's EX or V Pokemon. So with this deck, it's pretty straightforward. We're ultimately just focusing on offense and try to survive attack with Hop's Corviknight, especially with its second attack with that extra defense. While this deck is hard to set up, I definitely had fun making this work. Overall, a fun deck to try as a challenge. Anyways, that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck list in the description below. And now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Hop's Corviknight. Before we get into the video, I have a small request. If you're liking the content I create, please leave a like to this video and please support this channel by subscribing if you haven't already. This is a small click for you, but for me, it means a lot. Thank you so much for all of your support. Alright, on to our first match. I had to mulligan once, but now we'll be starting with Hop's Rookidee in the active spot. We also have Hop's Snorlax on the bench to increase our attack. And for our first draw, we got a Nest Ball. Let's go ahead and use this up. And our Hop's ZACIAN EX is actually prized. It's actually really good at donking a lot of our opponents, but I think I'm just going to go for another Hop's Rookidee on the bench. And I'm just going to end my turn here. Next turn, we can evolve into Hop's Corviknight. It has an attack for a single colorless energy. So for as little as 0 energies with Hop's Choice Band, we can even knock out our opponent's active Pokemon. So we're actually going against a Ceruledge EX. My opponent will use Brilliant Blender as their ace spec card, most likely just to discard a bunch of energies. So if you didn't know, Ceruledge EX's attack increases the more energies you have in the discard pile. Thankfully, Corviknight is actually weak against lightning and not fire, despite it being a metal type. So this is a neutral matchup when it comes to typing, but then again, if my opponent builds up enough energies in the discard pile, they're just knocking out anything that gets in their way. So they're going to retreat into Badoo. They're going to set up Monkey Dory. And they're going to attack with Itchy Pollen. So it deals 10 damage to our active, and now we are item locked. Let's go ahead and evolve into Corvisquire for the meantime. We do have Hop's Choice Band to power up its attack just in case. Let's go ahead and use Arven. Let me get Hop's Choice Band just to thin out our deck, and then we need energies. Or actually, let me just get Nest Ball. We can't use item cards. At least we have Hop's Choice Band. Thankfully, we can still attack here. Speed Dive deals 90 damage, knocking out their Badoo. And that's going to get us our first prize. We got Postwick Stadium. Again, another attack modifier to increase Hop's Pokemon's attacks by 30 more damage. And my opponent evolves into Ceruledge EX finally. And they have 7 energies in the discard pile so far. Make that 8. And then they're going to evolve into another Ceruledge EX. Carmine to draw more cards. Flip the script to draw 3 cards. We did knock out one of their Pokemon last turn. And they're going to go for Abyssal Flames, dealing a knockout blow against our Corvisquire. Alright. So we have an even price so far here. Let's go ahead and use Nest Ball. We can get Fecundipity so we can draw more cards with Flip the Script. We got Reversal Energy. I mean, we got Hop's Bag. Let's go ahead and set up our last 2 basic Hops Pokemon from our deck. We got Hops Cramorant and another Rookidee. We can't evolve, we can't attack, because again, Hops Cramorant's attack only happens if your opponent has 3 or 4 prizes remaining. They have 5 so far, so we can't even attack with it. So I think I'll just have to give up a prize here while putting an energy to our Snorlax. Maybe we can attack with it. But I just hope my opponent doesn't have a boss orders. They might target our Fecundipity EX. Oh man, they have a boss orders. But they're gonna target Hops Cramorant. Okay. And they're gonna attack for 190. I guess because they couldn't discard any more energies, they can't knock out Fecundipity anyways. They just went for the next best option, I guess, is Cramorant. At least we can use Flip the Script once again. We can use Pokegear. We got Color's Tenacity. I can actually get Neutralization Zone, maybe prevent my opponent from damaging our Snorlax. But I really don't want to use it right now. Maybe late game. At least we can fully power up our Snorlax to attack. We have Postwick Stadium. I'll just increase my damage the best I can here, and then Dynamic Press deals 230 damage. 40 damage shy of knocking out their Ceruledge EX. And this is our maximum damage output that we can deal with all of Hop's attack modifiers. And of course, we also dealt 80 recoil damage with Snorlax's attack. And again, it's really easy for my opponent to just knock out anything at this point. They can use Iono. We got more energies. We got Iono of our own. They got the energy for their Monkey Dory. Now they can heal and also transfer damage from one of their Pokemon to ours. And they're just gonna go for Abyssal Flames one more time to knock out our Snorlax. So let's go ahead and promote our Rookidee. We got another Stadium. I can recover Hops Cramorant. Flip the script to draw 3. I just need a switch and maybe a Choice Band. That way we can attack. Got another Iono. I wish we were able to get Arven, but we did not. We might just have to give up another prize here if we can't retreat Rookidee and power up our Cramorant. I'll just attach an energy to my Cramorant, use Iono. We can draw 5 here. Okay, we got Latias EX. That will do. So Rookidee is a basic Pokemon, so that will give it 0 retreat cost. We can retreat into Hops Cramorant. And we do have Counter Catcher. 180 damage. We're not knocking out anything else. So I think I'm just going to knock out my opponent's active Ceruledge EX. So Fickle Spitting deals 180 damage, knocking out their Ceruledge EX, getting us 2 more prizes. So we finally got Hops ZACIAN EX and Colress Tenacity. So we can even grab our neutralization zone if we need to. I'm just trying to see if my opponent still has other stadiums. So if they use that up, for the most part, maybe when they're down to their just last prize, we can put out our neutralization zone and then we can negate all of their attacks and then we will keep knocking out their Pokemon. There goes another Abyssal Flames, knocking out our Cramorant. Again, let's go ahead and promote our Rookidee. Got a Jet Energy. That's the only thing with Stage 2 Pokemon, you know? It's just so hard to set them up sometimes. Well, we got Rare Candy and Ultra Ball, so we can definitely evolve into Corviknight now. And we do have Reversal Energy. Since my opponent has taken more prizes than we have, that will activate and we can fully power up our Corviknight. Let me go ahead and use Ultra Ball. Again, I'm just preventing my Hops ZACIAN EX from going into play because it is a metal type. They can easily just knock it out. So I'll get Hops Corviknight. We can evolve our Rookidee. And then let me actually get their Pheasantipede EX. We can take a knockout against it, right? We can reduce damage. Can get neutralization zone and another reversal energy with Colress Tenacity. Most likely, if they have a boss orders, they'll probably just target one of our 2 prizers on the bench. But I think I'm gonna go for basic metal energies for the meantime. Let's go ahead and put the reversal energy on Hops Corviknight. 210 damage will be enough to knock out their Pheasantipede EX, getting us 2 more prizes. And we got boss orders. I wanted to play neutralization zone, but that reduces the attack damage output. But I just wanted to take a knockout against their Pheasantipede EX. But this is all or nothing. They are behind on prizes if they have a counter catcher with that Professor's Research. But no, they're gonna attack and just knock out our Corviknight. Well, we got Corvisquire, we have Ultra Ball. And we got Corviknight from our draw, look at that. So we can fully evolve. We're even in prize. We can't use reversal energy, but all we need is 1 more prize. I think we have enough attack damage output here to take a knockout, which we do. So I'm just gonna use Shoot Through to knock out their Monkey Dory, taking our last prize to win us the game. Good game. On to our second match, and this time we'll be starting with Hops Snorlax in the active spot. And thankfully we have Hops Bag. That's going to allow us to search our deck for up to 2 basic Hops Pokemon and put them straight to our bench. So I'm going to go for ZACIAN EX and Rookidee, and I'm just going to my turn here. So my opponent actually won the coin flip. They've decided to go second, and they're starting with Zapdos EX in their active. They will put Squawkabilly EX on their bench, and I'm guessing this is a lightning type build. You can attach an energy, use Professor's Research, and they have Iron Valiant EX. They also attached a future booster energy capsule that will give it 0 retreat cost. So if you didn't know, Iron Valiant EX has the Tachyon Bits ability, which my opponent will use if they move it from the bench to the active spot. They can put 2 damage counters to any one of our Pokemon. So they're gonna put 2 to our Rookidee. And again, they can just easily retreat this Iron Valiant EX to their bench. So being a lightning type matchup, Corviknight actually has a type of disadvantage against this one. But they're also using a bunch of dark energies, which is pretty interesting. So with the Squawk and Seize ability, they found a Nest Ball. And they're gonna set up Monkey Dory. Alright, well, that explains the dark energies. They're gonna retreat to Squawkabilly EX. They're gonna attack with Motivate, dealing 20 damage to Snorlax, and also allowing them to accelerate up to 2 basic energies to one of their benched Pokemon. So now it's our turn. We got Postwick Stadium. We can evolve into Hops Corvisquire, and then I mean, it can start attacking with ZACIAN EX. So I'm just gonna go with Arvin, get Latias EX with the Nest Ball so we can easily retreat our basic Pokemon. We have 0 retreat cost, and then we can attach the Hops Choice Band to our Hops ZACIAN EX, increase our attack even more with Postwick Stadium, and we're just gonna do Insta Strike, dealing 120 damage to their Squawkabilly EX and 30 damage to their benched Zapdos EX. But yeah, Hops ZACIAN EX is really strong at donking a lot of builds right now, especially if they can't set up early on in the game. If they only have one, he can deal 120. Take a quick knockout. So they're just spreading a lot of damage counters to our benched Pokemon. They're gonna attack with Zapdos EX, dealing 120 to our ZACIAN EX, and 90 more to our Latias EX. So we got another Choice Band for our Corvisquire. We can actually evolve into Corviknight thanks to our Iono. And we have Hops Bag to set up 2 more basic Pokemon on our bench. And I think I'm gonna go for Hops Cramorant and another Rookidee. Because Hops Cramorant is very strong, but very limited. You can only attack when your opponent has 3 or 4 prizes. So I think I'm gonna go for another Insta Strike here, dealing 120 damage to Zapdos EX and 30 more to their Squawkabilly EX. And most probably, I don't think there is a waiting period for Zapdos EX. They're just probably gonna take a knockout here. They can take 4 prizes. Okay, my opponent will set up Miraidon EX. They went for Electric Generator but found no Lightning Energies. They recovered a Dark Energy to their Monkey Dory. With that Dark Energy, they can now transfer damage counters up to 3 from one of their Pokemon and put it to one of our Pokemon. So they're gonna put 3 to our Latias EX. I think that puts it within knockout range of the Multi-Shot Lightning from Zapdos EX, knocking out our Hops ZACIAN EX along with Latias EX, giving my opponent 4 prizes, which is pretty insane. But you know what, guys? We have the energy for our Hops Corviknight. And I'm just gonna attach a Metal Energy to our Rookidee because we can attack for 0 energy. I'm gonna use Colress Tenacity to get Postwick Stadium and another energy because we can use our support. And then I'm just gonna shoot through. And you know what? We're gonna retaliate by knocking out 2 of their Pokemon. Knocking out their Zapdos EX and their Squawkabilly EX, also giving us 4 prizes. Low key, man. Hops Corviknight EX is actually pretty awesome. That increased a more powerful bench damage of 50 actually makes a big difference. In combination with Hops ZACIAN EX, things like this can win you games, guys. But I really want to use the Steel Wing though. That's one of the top or better attacks for Corviknight because it does reduce the damage it receives by 60. So I mean, you can tank up to 230 damage from your opponent's attack. So it's a pretty neat attack, just very circumstantial. So let's see how my opponent answers our last turn. They have their Miraidon EX fully energized. But even if they knock out my Hops Corviknight, we have Rare Candy as long as they don't mess up our hand here. We have Arven. We can just get Ultra Ball, get another Corviknight set up, and we'll be behind on prizes after they knock out one of our Pokemon here. That will activate Reversal Energy, and we can use Steel Wing. So, because we are weak against Lightning, they actually hit for 440 damage, knocking out Hops Corviknight with their Miraidon EX. Well, I think this is going to be it for us. We can use Arven to get Ultra Ball and Hops Choice Band to increase our attack even further. Discard those two to get Hops Corviknight. We have Rare Candy to evolve right away. And we have another Metal Energy to fully power up. Even if we weren't behind on prices, we were able to use Steel Wing, dealing 240 damage to get us our last two prizes to win the game. Wow, good game. On to our final match. I will be going first, and we will start with Hops ZACIAN EX in the active spot. Well, let's see what we're going up against here. Okay, my opponent will start with Mew EX. They also have Fan Rotom. Right now, all we could do is just attach Hops Choice Band, and I'm just gonna end my turn. We don't really need Post-Pick Stadium just yet anyways. Alright, good thing we didn't put that into play. We would have just wasted it because my opponent had Artisan. Can search their deck for a basic non-rule box Pokemon, put it straight to their bench, and they're gonna set up a Tinkatink. Now they're gonna use Fan Call ability. They can only use that on their first turn. You can search their deck for up to 3 colorless Pokemon with 100 HP or less, but they're just gonna search for one, and that is Pidgey. So we can expect a Pidgeot EX with a quick search ability, most probably. So they can search their deck for any one card. With the Nuzball, they're gonna set up Squawkabilly EX. And they also have Buddy Buddy Poffin. Okay. Alright, they fully set up their bench. So they have Abra and Natu. Now they can't put their Pidgey into play. You can attach an energy to Fan Rotom. I mean, they could have just retreated. I don't know why they had to use Switch, but okay. You can use Quack and Seize ability to draw into more cards. I mean, going second, they can attack with Fan Rotom for 70. But as of right now, that's the only attacker that can actually attack. They have TM Evolution. Okay, they're just gonna go for setup. So instead of attacking, they're just gonna go for TM Evolution to evolve 2 of their benched Pokemon. They will evolve into a stage 1 for Tinkaton and Kadabra. Okay, well, we got Colress Tenacity. Let's go ahead and use their Artisan first. Let me set up Hops Rookidee for the meantime. And then let me boss this Natu. We're not dealing enough damage to knock out their Fan Rotom. Might as well get a knockout. So we'll knock out this Natu. Deal 30 damage to their benched Kadabra. Most likely that's their main attacker. But eliminating Natu is a big deal too, because majority of their stage 2 attackers, I think, requires at least 2 energies. So going into my opponent's turn, I don't think they can attack with them just yet without another energy accelerator for that second energy. Alright, they're gonna play Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking. They can search their deck for up to 2 cards, put it on the top of their deck in any order. So as of right now, my opponent is only able to attack with Fan Rotom. They will evolve into Alakazam EX. And they're gonna go for Assault Landing, dealing 70 damage to our Hops ZACIAN EX. We got another Rookidee from our draw. Might as well use Artisan to get Hops Snorlax to increase our attack damage output. Put Post-Pick Stadium into play. And I'm just gonna use Iono. Okay, we got Fasenipity EX. We got Metal Energy for one of our Rookidee. And then we can use Insta Strike, 120, 30 more damage to their Alakazam EX. And we got our second prize of the game. We got a nest ball. Okay. So Alakazam EX, it's one of the most unique cards in the game right now, actually. It's the only Pokemon that can attack from the bench, which is pretty insane, actually. It's the only Pokemon that can attack from the bench. They will evolve into Tinkaton EX. Again, this one requires 2 energies as well. It is weak to metal though, so we have type advantage against this one, especially if we can evolve into our Corviknight EX. But also, ZACIAN EX can deal a huge amount of damage for 0 energies. Again, with Buddy Poffin, they're gonna set up Togepi and another Abra. They're gonna attack with Alakazam EX, dealing 120 from the bench. Now it's our turn. So with the Nest Ball, I'm gonna use Latias EX. We can get this ZACIAN EX out of harm's way. Then again, I could still use it to attack. They're gonna go for boss orders. Can knock out this Togepi and deal 30 damage to their Tinkaton EX. We're just putting a lot of them within knockout range. I think we should be okay here. Get another prize. So 3 more prizes to go. Should be good. We'll attach an energy to Tinkaton EX. They're gonna keep attacking with Alakazam EX, finally knocking out our Hops ZACIAN EX. Took them a few turns actually before they could knock it out, so I'm alright with that. I'm just gonna pivot into Hops Snorlax. We can easily retrieve that thanks to our Latias EX. Can flip the script. Got neutralization zone. You know what, guys? I think we have all the components here. I'm just gonna go for Hops Choice Band. Get Earthen Vessel to get an energy. That way we can fully energize our Corviknight. We have Ultra Ball. Attach Hops Choice Band to increase our attack damage. Get our Corviknight. We have Rare Candy. Evolve that. And we can even reduce the damage we receive by 60. So let's go ahead and retreat. And to... Actually, you know what, guys? Because it is weak to metal, we can actually just use Shoot Through to get 3 prizes and attack for 50 on the bench, knocking out their Abra to get our 3 prizes. GG's. And that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching the Popsicleknight channel, and until next time, please stay safe and have a great day.